I'm going to tell you something, man. You want to know why we have, I'm not just talking about Penix, around the league and this. You want to know why we have shitty quarterback play? Or when I say shitty, Penix is a very talented kid. I love him. And overcoming 2 knee injuries and what he did at Washington, love him. This is such an indictment and an embarrassment for the Atlanta Falcons. And for a first-round quarterback that you invested a draft pick in that you didn't even need at the time because you had an $80 or $100 million quarterback. That's how the regard you held him in. Development is part of your job. If this is true, the Atlanta Falcons should be fired on the fucking spot today. And if a backup quarterback, Kirk Cousins, isn't helping, and it would shock me because he's a great leader, shame on him that they're not having conversations on the sideline. That guys like me sitting at home and my quarterbacks that I train, I'm calling, clean this up. That they're the ones that got on the sideline. He has nobody to go to. His fiance for the mental side. If we have a bad game, she loves me, of course, on the sideline. So he comes over there and looks at it and just kind of on his own. What a friggin' embarrassment. And you wonder why across the league, and we say it all the time, that play is average. Look, oh, Sean, what about the play at Lamar? We're not talking about the elites, okay? I get that. But even those guys, Mahomes has had his struggles, even when their offense was struggling at times, and he's coached up and does it well, and they're always talking. Josh Allen. But Josh Allen had to be coached up early in his career too, Segs, and he's getting coached up now. If it's good enough for Tiger Woods or Jack Nicklaus to have a swing coach or a tennis guy to have his guy out there coaching him in a team sport, are we serious about this? If this is true, and I don't think Penix is lying, but if there is no communication going on those sidelines, and he has nobody to turn to, but a dude watching from his living room at home say, dude, clean this up mechanically, then this is coaching malpractice. This is an embarrassment. And, if that's the case, then you wonder why the Atlanta Falcons are, thank goodness for Bijan Robinson and Penix. And thank goodness for the players that keep them a little bit afloat. Because if you're not having communication, this ain't like some high school coach, which they should be doing anyway, that coaches the guy and doesn't help him further his career when it's done. He just to call a coach, make a simple call, write a letter for him. Oh, you're done with me. We're moving on to the junior who's going to be your quarterback next year. He does have that responsibility. If he doesn't think he does, then he doesn't do his job right. I digress. But in the NFL, this is your career. This is your job. This is a CEO, manager, salesman. You got to be coaching the coaches, and the coaches have to be talking. And that doesn't mean getting in his ear and micromanaging every friggin' series. It means to be able to turn to, why did this happen? Why am I could tell you this, if that is happening, call me up. I'll come to work for you. I'll take half the money you're paying the guy right now. And Michael Penix and Kirk Cousins will play better football just on communication alone, let alone the attention to detail that the toughest position in all the world of sports has to have. I didn't say the toughest thing to do, that ain't hitting a baseball. The toughest position to play consistently great in this league, in any sport, is quarterback, because of all the accountability of 22 players, and you got to get the ball out in 2.5 to 2.75 seconds to a moving target, dealing with blitzes, understanding what all 22 do every friggin' play. No wonder if this is happening in other cities, you guys better do yourself a favor before your quarterback bus tosses you, and he should have bus tossed your ass. And I usually don't believe in dirty laundry. And I don't think Michael Penix meant it derogatory. I think he just kind of thought this is the NFL way. He was so humble about it, which tells me it's even deeper than we might think. If this is going on in your city and you're in the media and you're a fan, or you're in an organization, or you're a quarterback and they're allowing this, sell their bitch ass out, because they are affecting your career. They want you to go sacrifice and leave everything on the field and on the sideline, yet there's no communication other than you're looking at still shots and looking at your computer to go over your surface, to go over what the pre-snap look like, but there's nobody there to walk you through it if you have answers. He's a second-year guy getting his first year of full season starting. And we're letting this happen. If that's the way you invest, you should go broke. Because if that's what you're doing on your investment with a first-round quarterback that you probably overdrafted, maybe he would have been drafted 12th to 13th, but where you needed him and you already had a guy, and I think Penix is going to be a good player. He'll never reach his potential in Atlanta if this coaching staff, if that's the way they're doing it, ever. He's got no shot to do it. So if this is what they're doing, I'm just going on Penix. I don't know, but if this is how they're doing it, and this guy's this deeply feeling this, and I somehow trust Penix, because quite frankly, sometimes these guys are too honest, and this is honest. Shame on the Atlanta Falcons and any other organization that's doing it. I'll bet you $1 million at the way Stafford's playing. Dude, the way at this level of his career, as long as he's been in it, Sean McVay's staff is still coaching him up. You do know this, correct?
Right.
You do know this. Andy Reid is still coaching up, as is Matt Nagy, Patrick Mahomes, and communicating. And the backup quarterback on that team on the sidelines is still going over to him saying, whether it was Jim McMahon or Warren Moon, you're just another set of eyes. Sometimes they don't want to be talked to. Right. But I'm talking about guys that are 35 and 40 that are Hall of Famers. And you're not doing this with a first-round pick in his second year in the league? This is disgraceful. And again, it's coaching malpractice. And the Atlanta Falcons will never maximize Michael Penix's career if this is the way they're going about their business. And if you're the owner of that team and the front office general manager, you ought to go down and take names and kick ass and start letting them know the bus leaves at 3:00 and your ass is going to be on it if you don't start coaching our investment in our first-round guy that we expected to be a franchise quarterback and be our guy for the next decade.
Yep.
Embarrassing.
I wrote down, when I was writing down about this stuff, I wrote down, where is Zach Robinson, the OC, probably sitting up in the booth, but you have phones that communicate back and forth.
Zach's a smart guy.
But maybe he's just a good OC at calling plays.
Well, he's a new OC too, so he is a new OC, so he's working on his gig too.
Tim Burbinich, passing game specialist? Where is DJ Williams, the quarterback coach? Where is TJ Yates, another former quarterback, passing game coordinator? And where's Ken Zampese, who's been around this league for a long time, been quarterback coaches? He's an offensive assistant. Where and what are all these guys doing during the game that they don't have time to talk to their quarterback?
You know what I'm going to do too? Because Zamp's a buddy of mine. I've had some intimate conversations. I've known Zamp forever, and obviously his dad, Ernie Zampese, one of the great coordinators of all time.
Right.
Zamp is a great communicator. I'd like to know, because Zamp has told me some information about quarterbacks in the past that he's had, and one in particular. I'm going to leave the name out because I'm not going to sell the quarterback out. That he was shocked at the lack of passion or love that the guy had for the game. But Zamp's not a bust off, and Zamp's not going to immerse himself onto you if you don't want.
Right.
And part of this is Penix seeking it out. There's that little part of it, but your job as a quarterback, you're his subordinate. You go to him and tell him, the prop sakes, you just mentioned all these offensive guys. Is there too many chefs in the kitchen there where you got 5 different guys saying 5 different things and none of them are talking to him?
Maybe.
Now, the coordinator's working on a game plan. Quarterback coach should be sitting next to him on the bench every time he comes over.
Agreed.
And even if you're not talking, you're at least listening to him so you can give him information and answer his questions. So Zamp's good. It's time for, you know what? Now that I just saw it today, like the rest of us, if Zamp, I need to get a hold of him because, and I don't know what Kenny'd tell me, but I love him and I trust him. And I imagine he'd dive deep. And if it was a quote from him, I'd let you know. But if I get somebody says, Sean, it's off the record, then I won't say it. But I can tell you this, that for us to be having this conversation in week 10 or 11 of the NFL season with a rookie second-year first-round quarterback on a staff, and you know what? I understand that the coordinator's got to get Zach Robinson's trying to do his thing because Zach Robinson, who may end up being the Oklahoma State head coach at some point, because he played there, and depending on the regard they hold him in, and I hold him in high regard, but I know coordinators, once again, as I said before this came up, what did I say in the first segment? Josh McDaniels, a quarterback coach, and he's a coordinator, but the quarterback coach and the communicator who make sure that those lines of communication stay open and you're coaching them.
Let me ask you this.
And look at the 6 and assistant coach is so important. Why are they doing this? And why? I cannot believe we are actually having this conversation for pros. Remember, I told you just because you get paid doesn't make you a pro. Apparently, that has to do with the Atlanta coaching staff.
So you've played quarterback. You've coached in games before. As an offensive coordinator, would you want to be on the field calling plays down there on the field, or would you like to sit in the booth? And then the other side, if you're a quarterback, do you want your offensive coordinator or play caller sitting on the sidelines with you that you can come off and you talk face to face and say, knock this shit off. This isn't working. And this is the stuff that I think will work. And you can talk face to face, not over a phone where he could just hang up and then not talk to you. How do you like it if you're the OC and the quarterback?
For me, and for people, I got to ask this question on Twitter. In college, the OC is usually the quarterback coach. In the NFL,
Right.
we have a passing game coordinator, we have an offensive coordinator, and we have a quarterback coach. As you heard Segs read him out, the quarterback coach is separate from the coordinator. They are individual guys. In college,
Yes.
because of the hiring of coach restrictions or whatever, however many you can have,
The amount
the
you
OC
get,
is usually the quarterback coach. With this, Segs, my personal opinion, one, as an offensive coordinator, whenever I've done that, and I have in All-American games that I've been the offensive coordinator at the Army All-American game twice, on the field. Somebody else up in the booth talking or on the side. I want to be on the field because I want that. I want to see his eyes. I want to talk to him. But you put your right-hand man up there that can finish your sentences,
he can
so he can see
everything.
the coverage. Right.
Yes.
And he'll say, hey, Sean, they're playing a lot of cover 2 or 2-man. Great. Then we're going to run 2-man beaters, right? Whatever it is.
Right.
I want those eyes. I need those eyes up there. And I got the surface also. As a player, I want Brian Billick was always on the sidelines. Tom Moore on the sidelines. Why? They wanted that communication as well. And you could get him. Now, it doesn't mean the second he comes off, you're going all Brian Kelly on him and sprinting out 5 yards on the field and cussing him out. Right. You need to know, and I get a better feel for the energy from a quarterback or from my coordinator and the game flow when sometimes I know I need a foot in my ass as a quarterback. And I know as a play caller that I need to put my foot in your ass and who can handle it. Jim McMahon comes to the sideline. You could cuss Mac out. Mac knew how to what to keep and what to discern, what information to keep, and you learn it, and what to blow away. Warren Moon wasn't that guy. You're not going to run and jump up on him and cuss him out. You were going to go to Warren and just have a calm conversation. Mac was just different, and they're both successful. For me, you can cuss me out, which I've been cussed out, or you can be calm. I don't need you every time after you throw a pick to come over. What are you doing? There's a way to do it. Oh man, let's see what happened here.
Hey, what'd you see?
And, of course. Yeah. If listen, that's the number one thing, Sigs, on the sidelines. I've always told quarterbacks. I said, if you're going to your high school coach or I'm your coach, and you come to me and I say, "What'd you see?" Well, I thought I saw. Right now we're in an argument.
Yeah.
Just tell me what you saw, and then I can react. Say, okay, well, remember on this, we're reading the Sam linebacker on a hook to curl zone. If it's not there, throw the ball to the check down. We'll tee it up or whatever on the bang post outside leverage. Even if what you saw wasn't what I saw, at least I know you saw. You got the ball in your hand. I don't get to throw the football. I just get to call the play.
I'm calling the play.
I like a guy down there.
Execute.
But I also know some Segs coordinators can't handle all the chaos.
Right.
They go haywire. We all of a sudden think coaches are always poised. Your ass. They're up there drinking coffee, trying to smoke grits if they can, getting shit done, fiddling with all their stuff. Don't want anybody to talk to them. They like that view, and quite frankly, they probably don't want to be around the wrath of a player motherfucking them and go. You know what I'm saying?
You can always tell.
Right.
You can always tell those OCs because when they show them in the box, there's like 2 or 3 guys that's in there with them, and then there's other guys that have like 9 in the box with them that are throwing things at them like, here, look at this, look at that, you know. And so you could tell those.
And you notice the calm, or the guys that don't want around. Nobody's talking to them unless it's a successful play. Then they high five them. Other than that, there's nothing. But I want to know the energy. And as a player, I at least want to know, even if I don't want you to communicate with me every play. Listen, I yanked the ball, made the right read, just missed the throw, yanked it into the ground. You don't need to come tell me, hey, do you know you missed it low? Well, no shit, Sherlock. I can see that. Tell me. Now, if you could come up and say, hey, Sean, you know why you missed it, dude? That ball came out. You held on to it a little long, but you're right. They're great read. Because I always want to end with some positive feedback no matter what's going on. And I just don't get the fact is, at least communicate. Motherfuck each other, cuss, yell, at least talk. I mean, what do we sending him in a room with padded walls and not letting him talk to anybody? Say, you're on your own, dude. And I can't imagine being successful, being on your own, like a corner and a quarterback. It can be an awfully lonely position, brother, when you're struggling.
Right.
But to know that I'm not, even if I'm struggling, that there's somebody's got an oar that they could give me that I could at least save the doggone dinghy I'm sitting in, right? Or the paddle boat, shit. And the fact that he's saying this and said it in such a humble, like almost as a way, Segs, that this was how everybody does it.
Yeah.
This ain't how everybody does it. So I don't put a blanket statement over every coaching staff, but if this is happening at other places, those quarterbacks and teams have no shot, dude. None. And then you got to be able to decipher down there when to approach the quarterback, when not to, but I at least got to know I got somebody to turn to. I got to wait home to talk to my wife if you're Michael Penix, and then a buddy calling me, or a guy who coached me in high school, or my private trainer in the office. If you're going to have the private trainer be the one who gives him information, then hire him as a consultant and stick his ass on the sideline so Penix feels comfortable. The fact that we have to talk about this is pathetic about a professional football team. I got news for you. Guess who's not making the playoffs at this stage doing this? Even if their record was, guess who's not going? Doing it this way.
Yeah.
Them. Okay. Make sure you know that.